more aggressive than usual. What do you guys think?
I liked it.
It was less, she usually puts me in the mind of a fiction writer. That seemed a little more, it was real, you know, like happening now.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I'm not supposed to give like disclaimers, but this is a really like the good disclaimer. It's not about my piece per se, but can I give Sheba some credit for a second here? So a couple workshops.
I'm a Leo. You can always boost me up.
Okay, so a couple workshops ago, Queen Sheba made like a statement, and it didn't bother me, but it made me like really want to like think outside of the box. And she was like, "Oh, we kind of know how Jackie's going to write." And I thought about it for a second. She was like, "You know, Jackie kind of writes about the church and da da da." And I took it as a compliment. And I was like, "Oh, I appreciate it." But then it made me think like I don't want to be one-sided, one-noted person. And I know I could write differently. It's just that when you have only 30 minutes, you just go to how you typically write because you only got 30 minutes. But now that I'm at home and I have a timer in my own head, but I don't actually have a timer. I was like, I'm gonna challenge myself. So next time somebody hears me, they don't think, oh, we've heard that before. So thank you, She, because you got me to kind of, you know, do something different. So there you go.
Hello. Hey. Well,
and you did a good job though. You did a real good job.
Yeah.
I mean, because like you said, it's normally a story, you know, it's heavily illustrated. And this one was still illustrated and you still gave us the image. You talk about your imagination and what you left with, the prison wall. Like you gave us all of that imagery. But it was concise. It was edited, and you did a good job of, you know, doing that. Go ahead.
I see, Sheba. I be listening. I be paying attention to workshop. I be paying attention.
Well, let me tell you, in my 18 years as a professional writer, people have given me feedback that have, you know, made me set me aback and then made me think about myself too. I remember one time, there was a time that I used to start all my poems with I. No matter what it was about, like no matter where it was going, was like I such and such and such and such. And finally, my homeboy Desan was like, nobody wants to hear about you all the time. So even if it was still about me, I had to find creative ways to get around that. I had to find other characters to still represent what I was talking about and not start with I all the time. So trust me, we all grow, you know what I mean? And I don't know how long you've been writing. I know that you've been hanging out with us for almost 2 years. So even in those 2 years, you've grown a lot. So I appreciate you always coming back, and you know, that's what the feedback.
And it was a good thing too, because when I heard it, I took it as a compliment because people know how I write, but at the same time, I also took it as a chance to challenge myself. So that way it's not always just, you know, the same. So people can be like, oh, she can do other stuff too. So, you know, you're helping your girl out here. So
I mean, y'all were telling me that I was killing somebody in all my poems, so I had to stop killing people. So, same thing. Cool. Does anybody have anything else they want to share before we get into tonight's writing prompt? Anything at all?
So are we doing the Joseph Lowry thing?
Yes.
I'm writing my last few lines. I need somebody to do something else real quick.
I got my in quarantine one. Can y'all see me?
Go ahead.
Where are you at, Jules?
The thing is, it's on the same device that I am using to record.
Yeah, what is that picture of? What are those?
Like something my mom cooked at some point.
Onion balls? Or...
That's on my Google, and I never took it off.
Oh, no, we can't. Sometimes you come in, but then you're not in right now. It's that picture.
Yeah, it's food. Okay.
It's food. I don't know what
I mean, that's cool.
No, it's not. We want to see you.
Do you have to? I mean, do you have to? Okay, let me see if I can pull it up on my email. I'll pull it up on my email. Gosh.
Oh, boom. Okay, cool. All right, so everybody go to mute, and then T Pimpin will share, and then Jack.
Hold up, I haven't found it yet. I know I emailed it to me at some point. Okay, wrong.
Is everybody getting their 1 hour of sunlight a day?
Oh, Lord.
No.
Hey, Rebecca. What's up, Rebecca?
No. Me and my horrible hair.
Nice hair. We have a new person, Brittany. Brittany
Hi,
O's.
Brittany.
This is
Hey,
Rebecca.
do.
Cool. All right, you ready, Jules?
Yeah.
Okay, everybody on mute.
If y'all can see me.
I've been inside for a while, even before the wind got a little uncertain and the water diminished, leaving nothing behind but empty shells and ships looking for any substance to wipe the fecal matter off their mug and the tears from that ass that these niggas out here eating. That's how it all started. That's the real reason why your granddad is dearly departed. You said you were gonna eat it like groceries, but it ended up being ate more like an MRE. So why the fuck are you people all of a sudden breathing on me? Y'all used to run and flee when you saw a girl like me, a dark hooded hoe with purple gums and head full of deep brown cotton. I try to reach out and touch somebody's hand and they call me a tar baby. I guess it's true because if you touch me, you stuck. I'm like a never ending mind fuck, something like 2020. This year has been one hell of a fiasco, something cruel. Like it was orchestrated by McFarlane and Ja Rule. I was crying at my desk before it was cool, so don't bring that bonding shit over here now, Becky. You the last person who should be breathing on me. Large crowds have always been cause for my crippling anxiety. Bitch, I have sickle cell, but you don't know what that means. My blood shaped like S's and C's. My immune system couldn't fight off little Uzi Vert. Yeah, he cute or whatever, and something tells me he packing an anaconda underneath that skirt, but I don't feel comfortable with these niggas. But you something else. I might risk it all for just one hot, sweaty little tango with this cornball. The way you bite on my thighs and make me sweat when I look you in those jaundiced eyes. And as long as it's in between these knees, I'd give you full admission to breathe on me. That's it.
I typed my notes in the chat.
So
why are his eyes jaundice?
You know,
does he malnutrition?
Some people have yellow eyes. Like
you have sickle cell?
I do.
Interesting. What do you have to do for that?
Drink water.
No liquor?
Not too much.
Mm-hmm.
My brother has that too, so he, you know, he gets in crisis sometimes, so he has to go to the hospital, get like blood transfusions and things.
Do you have to get blood transfusions, Jules?
I've never had a blood transfusion. Mm-mm.
Sickle cell is something you're born with?
It is.
Yeah.
Interesting.
A blood disease.
Now you can get it from like a family trait, like if your father had the trait and then your mother has it, it can pass down to a kid in some cases. Like that's how my brother got it.
Well, your parents have to have the trait for you to get sickle cell. So my mom,
and it's Black people only, right?
Yeah, basically.
It's more common in Black people. You don't hear it in really any other races. So
yeah. White people who have it have a little Black in them, basically. You know, they be doing some stuff some now and then. Nah.
Hilarity. And little Uzi Vert wears a skirt?
Yes, quite often.
Him and what's his name? The other rapper dude. The one that had on the blue dress.
Young Thug, but he said he stopped.
Young Thug, yes.
He said he stopped though.
Why are they wearing?
He
said he stopped what?
Lil Uzi Vert was in like Europe playing soccer wearing kilt.
Oh.
That's the last time I saw him in what looked like a skirt. So.
Oh, okay.
Young Thug said he stopped because his son wanted to put one on like daddy. So he said he cut that out.
Why was he doing it then?
He said
He was
living
doing it for
the
fashion. It was fashion week at first.
in rock star life. He said he was rock star, painting his nails, living,
Yeah.
that rock star life.
He was
And
calling
then
the
he
other
said,
one boo. What's the
I
other
think that
guy? Young homie Quan.
Rich homie Quan.
Oh yeah, Rich
Homie
Homie Quan.
Quan.
Young home. I know. But all of them.
They all young. They all homies.
Lil, young, whatever.
Little something, something.
Shit.
I think that was satirical. He was just being,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I did put it in the chat. I really love that you described your hair as a head full of deep brown cotton. That was dope. That was a dope line. Yeah.
I was like, can we cuss on here? Because we can't mention
Right.
the two other things.
Well, you can in your poems.
Okay.
But not as we can't be like
Conversation pieces.
nah,
What
like
we do
we
is
can't be like
put it in the mug, and you drink from the mug.
hello.
Or
Right.
stop
This
your
works.
video.
You know,
Discretion.
Jules is a thug.
Stopping your video
Making
works
sure.
as well.
Well, no,
True.
yeah, I mean, but I want to be able to put these on YouTube too. So but you can mention poems. My students mention shit all the time in their poems. In their poems,
It's just like no makeup.
just whatever
Shoot.
That was funny.
whatever you wanna, say in your poems. That's freedom of speech. But just being on here like,
No, I get it.
And Jack, what you got, Jack?
All right, y'all. This is the stopping place. It's not finished, but this is a stopping place.
Okay.
So this is for Lowry. You do honorable things, righteous things. You live out a legacy that with your eyes you will never see in its entirety. You make a family, support a movement, become a movement day in and day out. The world only knows what has been shown. You've done more. And then you die. It's not really a surprise, such as life. But we can't celebrate you in good Southern homegoing fashion, from who got the body, Watkins, to like he was sleeping. Or she sang I Won't Complain, and that choir got down on Going Up Yonder. That pastor sent him off right, and if I can't get no chicken from the repast, I might have to fight. Just kidding. But I will cuss a little bit. A man for your people, whose life work began with the fight to show that we are equal. Your accolades have traversed decades, and if read in their entirety, it would turn this piece into an example of epic poetry. We are better because of you. So we are utterly astounded. We are gobsmacked in the fact that we can participate in this tradition of honoring you in your transition from earth to the ethers. Well done. It was a demonstration. As they've kept it, we are the originators on this planet. Although we can embrace, we will shelter in place, shelter in a space of gratitude for you. Ashe. That's it.
That was good. I like that shelter in place at the end. That was cool.
I liked it.
Yeah, I did too.
It reminded me of my grandmother's funeral, and I know this is supposed to be like a somber, like reverence time, but that chicken reference made so much sense because we had like over 3,000 people at my grandmother's funeral, and he only brought in like 10 buckets of chicken. How you gonna do that? How you gonna do that? Like where? 10 buckets of chicken for over 2,000 people? No, not right.
Oh, it'd be real.
Don't say grandma out like that. Don't say grandma out like that.
So do people not anticipate the amount of people for the repast correctly? Or do they not know like how many people are going to show up, or how does that work?
It's different. It's different levels to the Southern fashion.
They had enough. They had enough.
Family might get the best chicken.
What'd you say, Jackie?
No, I said they had enough liquor and booze, but they didn't have enough chicken.
And was the liquor and booze still in the church? Was it like attached?
No. She had her service, her homegoing service, and then at an aunt's house, was the repast where everybody was supposed to eat, blah, blah, blah. But once we got there, you know, the tables were set up and people were setting out food. They realized they didn't have enough chicken, but everyone's trunk was full of, you know, the Corona, everything else. He had trunk full. Like, this is a shot for grandma. This is a sip. You know, good and well, grandma didn't drink no liquor. You know, good and well, grandma didn't drink no booze. But, you know, Black folks.
Is it just normal for people to get fucked up at repasts, or do people
No.
still remain conservative?
See,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
different. It was different for me.
depends.
But New
It
Orleans,
Right.
Depends on your
It
family.
depends.
It really does.
well, y'all make sure to get fucked up on
It
my
depends.
repast.
See, that's different, she, because for you, you're that type of person. I knew how my grandmother was. No, I'm just saying, like, I knew how my grandmother was, and her spirit, she wasn't that type of person, so I didn't want to disrespect her. You know what I'm saying? You are like, have a good time, turn up, so we would do that for you. But you know, it's grandma. Grandma was
Don't have no, in my funeral, don't have no fucking poetry funeral. Don't fucking stand around doing poems all day. This shit is gonna be whack and boring and long.
We're gonna read
Fucking
from
do
your
that shit.
book. We're gonna all read a collective of your greatest works.
That's a good idea, because my shit is good. Everybody else's, I don't know. I can't vouch for that.
We're gonna have dichotomy.
Don't waste your time
Yes.
listening to your own shit. Just read my shit.
We're gonna have dichotomy there. We're gonna have the whole gang, dichotomy, all of them. We're gonna have them all there.
Yeah, get Linnea to make the beats for the background. For the repass. For the repass turn up. All right. Okay, so
Come on.
today's writing
Yes.
workshop actually came
Repass for the repass time.
What happened? Who? Where's it? Who? Huh? Okay, so this will be our first time actually staying on to write on the Zoom. So we're still gonna do third. I know, right? So we're gonna try it out and see how it feels. So Brittany, you are gonna be privy to something that we typically do when we meet up in person, but we're gonna try it on Zoom and see how it feels. So what we have been doing the last few weeks that we've been meeting up on Zoom is I would give the writing prompt and then we just kind of chit chat, kick it, talk about whatever from the next hour or so, then get off, and then the writing prompt would be homework. And it's been going okay. But typically how we do it when we meet up in person is we take 30 minutes to write. It goes by quickly, just kind of like that 3 minutes that it goes by faster than you think, as Jackie mentioned, and then we share. So typically our workshop anyway is from 9 to midnight, and with this Zoom, we can be on as long as we want. And of course you're grown, so you can jump off and leave, just like, you know, if we were Gallery 992, you can leave whenever you feel like it. But just to say that we do have the time. So right now it's 9:46, and we're gonna try it this week and see how it goes. So this week, the writing prompt actually comes from DJ Nodat. She gave me an idea the other day, and she thought it would be a cool writing prompt to pass on to you guys. So her idea was literal, spiritual, and metaphoric all at the same time. So she was driving to work and she was noticing that she what's fucking direction is that? East, west, I don't know, fucking south, east, south, rises east, west, and west. So southeast, she drives southeast to the airport to go to work, and she noticed that the sun was in her face. She puts down the visor. She spends all day at work, comes back, she's driving northwest to come back home and notice that the sun is in her face. Again, she puts down the visor to kind of block out the sun. But typically, you know, when people work a 9 to 5, they're actually inside a building and not really having contact with the sun all day. So her thought process was having a writing prompt called Chasing the Sun. And the reason I took it literal, spiritual, and metaphorical is because you could be chasing the sun literally, like, you know, if you want to write about like sports or whatever, something that you're literally chasing the sun. Like if you're an Uber driver, like if you have these times of days, or if you work at certain times, etc. It could be spiritual. You could be chasing the sun, the SON. You could be chasing some sort of spiritual connection to the sun. You could be trying to like cocoon in this COVID, come back out, something different, better, stronger. You could be, I don't know, whatever that means to you. And metaphorically, you could be chasing the sun, anything that could represent growth, being born again, rising and falling, anything like that. So it's up to you how you want to write, what you want to write about it. So today's writing prompt is chasing the sun. Everybody got it? I mean, those are 3 explanations, but do whatever comes to mind first. And the best way to write, of course, is to write about the first thing that jumps on your mind and just let it go. Don't even like hold back. Nice shirt, Jackie.
Thank you.
I like anything working out. I know, just when we were all about to start working out together, fucking stay by yourself shit happens. Stay by yourself. Yo, it was so awesome when Rebecca was driving me around for a couple days. This motherfucker had wipes, sanitizer, alcohol. She was like,
playing no games.
No games whatsoever.
Guess who is still well and goes out their house about 3-4 times a week.
She was like, did you bring a change of shirt, some gloves? Here's a mask, a scarf. It was great. All right, so chasing the sun, I'm gonna set the timer for 30 minutes. Anybody have any questions before we start?
You said literal, metaphorically, and what was the third one?
Spiritual.
Oh, yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, or whatever, however it hits you.
Gotcha.
You know, like people are saying it hit different when, etc. Yeah, so, all right, so that's it. I'm gonna start the timer and.
Who's DJing?
Oh, hey, I can from here. Watch this. I started the timer. I'm gonna screen share. This is not spam, okay? I'm screen sharing right now. It's not a virus. All right, where we at?
How can I mute the sound of what you're about to put up?
I don't know. It's fucked up. How can I not be on your shit?
Ain't no way, Doug. Or L. No way. Mm-mm.
You don't want to hear my shit?
I write better in silence.
Oh, okay.
Oh, man. Turn down the volume on your device.
Ooh, hello.
I mean, that's the way. Yes, that's the way. young one.
Oh, shit. Can y'all hear that?
No,
You can't hear it?
not me, but
Nah.
You can't hear it?
Or not.
Huh.
No.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, well, that's good. All right, well, fuck it.
Good evening.
Hey there, we're doing a timed writing. How's it going?
It goes, it goes.
Nice. The writing prompt is chasing the sun, whatever that means to you.
Gotcha. So good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. We still got 22 minutes left, so you're good. All right, everybody, that was 30 minutes, believe it or not. Dun, 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 dun. I know, right? Still goes by fast. And when do we have everybody here? Jack, Brittany, okay, all right, cool. So, no yawning, Jules.
Sorry, I'm tired.
All right, so Brittany, everybody else is a veteran, but how we give feedback is if you have a couple things. I'll go first, so and you don't have to. You can jump in whenever you feel comfortable. But how it goes is, you read your piece. You don't give any disclaimers. You don't, because obviously we only all had 30 minutes, right? So we're all confined to the same 30 minutes, and we all had the same writing prompt. So you don't have to be like, well, I was writing this in my kitchen one day. Well, we don't care. We don't give a fuck, right? Just read your piece and then we give you feedback. So if we have something awesome to say, then we say, hey, we like this, we like that. If you have something awesome to say about somebody's piece, then the best way, since we have this chat, which I really like, is to take notes in the chat while somebody is reading. And then that way, hopefully the person reading is not looking at the chat while they're reading, right? And then that way you can refer back to your notes and expand on them. You can just kind of make bullet points so you don't forget. And then that way the person too will be able to go back to the chat and then take the notes from there. So everybody can, take notes in the chat. That's an element we didn't have while we were live. I would just take notes on my phone or whatever, and then, say them out loud. So this is actually kind of cool. So that way you can go back at any point, you can click on the same meeting link and then go back and say, oh, people said this about my poem, et cetera, et cetera. If you have something that you think somebody should improve or work on, then you say, hey, then you pose it as a question so that the reader doesn't feel attacked. You say, have you thought about, well, not have you thought about because you didn't have time before. Would you consider changing red to blue? Would you consider making a raven a hawk? Would possibly think about changing orange to yellow, whatever it is that you're thinking about in there, so that people, now as the reader, you don't get to respond. And we're still gonna adhere to that same rule here on Zoom. So you just take the feedback, you use it if you want to use it, go back and adjust your poem or not, give a fuck or don't give a fuck. And, and then, but a lot of times the feedback is really cool. People are, listening and intent and et cetera. So this is really exciting. So this is the first time we've actually had a full actual structured workshop on here. We've been meeting for a couple weeks, but just to kind of make sure that we're alive and just kicking it. So this was really cool. All right, so I'll go first. That way, does everybody have that screen share option on the bottom? You can nod, yes, no, thumbs up.
yeah.
Down. Everybody has screen share. So that's up to you if you want to screen share or not. I think that might be kind of cool too, so people can read along if you typed on your computer. I did. So if not, then you don't have to at all. But anyway, so here's mine. I'm gonna screen share. Is not not spam. All right, chasing the sun. See what I did here? When CSI comes to my home in 1,000 years, to conclude my home death was dehydration and wrinkled skin folded over in the soft of my sleep. They will find a wall of text messages and DMs between you and I, mostly abstract and fragmented sentences lapsing by months, in between pandemics and you switching countries to follow a deflating dream, a changing of the guards number. On the wall will be clippings of news articles, if there still is a periodical, or hyper track your awards and Lifeline, your children and children's children, and if we're youthful enough, their children too. There might be a screenshot peppered between our holiday check-ins, a birthday photo of everyone growing out of their shoes and sweaters, a dog that is reincarnated, a different breed every 8 years or so, a funeral for the fish, and several first days of school I will miss. The inspectors may also find letters returned by customs, something about the spread of some biological warfare or another. The mailmen know my name all too well. Oops, I have not changed addresses in years, just in case you want to return to sender. I keep the red flag on the box raised, a signal to get my messages through, approved, liked. The only vegetation I'm trying to sneak across the border is an olive branch. That's it. Okay, whatever you. All right, jump in with your feedback. You guys actually got to see my line breaks. We're gonna have to learn about, I'm gonna have to teach you guys about line breaks. Sometimes line breaks are important.
Please do, because nobody could read my junk if that was the case.
All right.
But no, I liked your poem. Your poem was soft, and like we said, you know, I've never heard of people say it, but it sounds about right. You know, you're gonna talk about killing somebody or something like that. So
at least it was
that
me
was,
this time.
Yeah, it seems like tonight is a departure, you know.
But I gave myself 1,000 years though.
But you did it, yeah, you did, yeah. But it was a beautiful poem. It was very beautiful.
Thank you.
I was going to say that the part about the dogs being reinvented every 8 years and the funeral for the fish, that was pretty dope. I like that. I can't use that word. That was very, very well illustrated in your poem. Yeah, the illustration of the words was nice. There we go. These words we can't use, like dope.
I think that was interesting. You started off kind of, hey, this is what they're gonna find years from now are our DMs. Like, that's how we communicate now, man, in the DMs. And to think about that, that's kind of, I don't know, I think that was interesting. Just like, oh man, they're not gonna find our letters. They're gonna be like, this is what they were talking about in the DMs, bunch of dick pics and nonsense. So I like that. And deflating dreams. Whew.
That was kind of jab at my son, wasn't it?
That hurts, you know? It
kind of
hurt.
like, it's kind of a little jab to my son, like,
Yeah. Returning to sender. I liked that line too, but okay. Nice.
Thank you.
I love that the little red flag was up on the mailbox. So here we go from DMs to actually going to a mailbox, because
old school.
Yeah, but this really does feel like this kind of, everything that's going on in the world right now feels like a reset. So it feels like, you know, what it's gonna look like afterwards. So going from this electronic to this old school like that, I really love that.
The frustration of not getting it through, like they're not picking up the mail. Yeah. Linnea, you were gonna say something?
Yes, but I forgot.
Delayed.
Brittany, did you have any feedback for that poem?
No, I just really enjoyed it, like, and how you read it, like just the flow of it. It sounded good. It was good.
Thank you. Cool. Anybody else? All right, cool. Who's next? And obviously, because we're small in number, we're obviously having conversation about it, which is cool. So, but still no disclaimers, but still feel free to, you know, give feedback on your feedback. Who's next?
Jackie.
Jules. Oh.
Jackie was like, I'll go, but she didn't have any sound on.
All right, Jackie.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go because I kind of have to get going in a little bit, so I'll do mine. Can everybody hear me okay? Is this pretty good?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Here goes. Before my mother passed away, I thought I knew everything there was to know about you. Jesus loves me, this I know, for the Bible tells me so. He died on a cross and rose again so I can have eternal life and then live again. It was always trust and believe, have faith, do good to others, watch and pray. Go to church, help those in need. Don't think of yourself as highly, do good deeds. It seems so plain and so simple, almost too good to be true. Too good to be true. Who knew? No weapon formed against me shall prosper. Call unto me and I will answer thee. That's what it seemed. Walking with God, having a relationship, not just some fairy tale, but a way maker, a miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Then she passed away, and somehow, God, you seemed so far. It wasn't as easy as just going to church. It wasn't as simple as now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. It wasn't as effortless as quoting a scripture verse. It wasn't as plain as talking to you. Walk by faith and not by sight, they say. So, sometimes the answer is no, they say. The world is not our home, they preach. She completed her race, they tell me. Then she passed away and I felt lost for days. God, where are you? Jesus, are you still there? Holy Spirit, are you aware? Felt like a hide and go seek match, searching for that peace that passes all understanding, looking for that resting place, hoping for that refuge and strength. What happened to ask and ye shall receive? Do I still believe? She still believes in your faithfulness, your truth, your holy word. Do I still believe, or am I chasing my own, or am I chasing my mother's faith?
Mm.
All right.
That was awesome. What does anybody have any feedback for Jackie?
That was tough. I don't know. Someone else go.
What else? What was tough about it?
Just the verses, the biblical aspect of it. I was going to say, wow, I'm thankful for the fact that my mom is still here and that I have a mom to cook for me during a quarantine. Nice. Like, that is like one of the things I realized I was so thankful for. So that definitely brought up a lot of feelings. I like that, Jackie.
Yeah.
I like that the way you were like, and then questioning faith, and like as far as going with like chasing the sun, and like how our religion definitely comes into question with the time that we have here on this earth. It's always like, what do we believe in? And talking about belief, it's something that really gets you thinking. Especially now.
I think it was apropos, first of all, because you was obviously talking about Jesus.
Apropos, what does that mean?
Appropriate for the times, since Sunday is Resurrection Sunday. So is Jesus, yeah.
Is it Easter?
Yes, it's Easter. It's Easter.
This Sunday?
He's walking, baby. He's walking. Right
this Sunday is Easter?
Yes.
Fuck, I don't even have a dress. I'm just getting dressed up.
Ain't go nowhere.
In the house.
I'll be in the house dressed up.
Right. The resurrection of Jesus Christ for us believers. So we're going to get dressed up, okay? We're going to get dressed up for God. So,
amen, Jackie. Yes. So I'm with you on that, because I like church. Church is fun. And it sounded like you was just gonna chase forever, and then you had that questioning moment, and it was a transition. Then my mother died, and now I'm wondering why, or something like that along those lines, where you switched it up. So then in your questioning, you were still chasing. So it was like it's like a double entendre of chasing the sun, because you were talking about, now I'm questioning, like, what's happening. So that was just, this good shit tonight, Jackie. I don't know, goddamn. you killed it. You killed it. Goddamn. It was a poem. It wasn't super, it was concise again, and illustrations, and you killed it.
Hell yeah. Anybody else feedback for Jackie? Cool. Who wants to go next?
Jock.
Good popcorn, Jackie. Good popcorn. Go ahead, Jock.
I'm supposed to always go behind you, but I don't have shit on this screen. I don't got that on the screen.
You got something.
Freestyle.
Freestyle. Yo, chasing the sun. Yo.
No, guys. So I mean, I
Is
have
that
like
Joseph
3.
Lowry behind you?
No,
No,
Nah.
Who is that?
That's that dude.
that's
That's
that
that
annoying
dude.
dude.
That's
that's
That
that dude who
one
just showed
fight.
up.
The
You tell
meme.
it.
He just
Right.
showed up.
He's a meme.
That's a snitch.
He's snitching.
Whoa.
He was before the 69 memes came out. He was on the phone.
He was
like
he snitched first. So the story was he
Oh,
snitched
yeah.
first. I didn't even think about that, but in the representation was I'm ready to be on the mic. I forgot about the snitching aspect, but Jesus, my.
Hilarity.
Nobody like him. He the bad.
That shit funny. The meme that I like was when you show up to your ex funeral and you be ready to speak like
I like that one.
that's
I like
this
that
is
one
what
too.
it that's what I think of when I see him. Just some foolery, ready to step up and talk that shit.
All right, Jock, what you got?
Shit, this is terrible. This is terrible. So I guess I would. Okay, let's start. I guess it's only 3 lines, guys. To chase the sun, you have to become one with it. What did that little man? What did that little green man say? There is no try. There is only do. No chasing. I'm embracing this race because, and I stopped there.
What the
I had got
fuck were you doing for 30
You don't
minutes?
know what she
I had
was
got a-
doing.
She was
I had got a
trying to
phone
fill the
call.
prompt, man.
I had got a phone call.
No, no one
they
knows.
understand. They understand.
I had got a phone call.
No one
so
understands.
I will
No.
explain
Yo,
it.
I
So
edited
listen,
a poem, posted a poem on Facebook, and wrote my shit.
so listen, I will explain it there. I'm not even going. This is going to be a
Okay,
freestyle
explain it.
explanation.
Okay.
So basically, chasing the sun to me, I was kind of going both ways with it. Like I was wanting to talk about going too high, where people don't. You're so high vibrationally that some people just don't get it. Like your frequency is way too high. So chill out. And then if you go too low, and you just got a low vibration, then people don't want to be around you either, or you don't even want to be around you, and you're not able to grow. So because you're so low, you're underneath the dirt, all that good stuff. So I was stuck between. I guess that's how I explain. I was stuck between writing like I said, you just to chase the sun, you have to become one with it. And I was like, have to means like this is all end all be all. And then what did the little green man say? Anybody watch Star Wars?
Yoda.
Yoda.
Yeah.
Yoda.
So Yoda. So there's no try, there's only do. So like to chase the sun, you have to become one with it. And there's no trying. Like you're gonna either be one with it. There is no chasing. You're the sun. You are it. So that's the last line was no chasing. I'm embracing this race. So then I was just gonna ride off a race and the fact that we're talking about chasing, so running, so race. And then phone calls happened. They shut me down.
Okay.
As I ramble. So any thoughts? Anybody can add to that, or whatever the case. I don't know.
You just told us everything, so we ain't got nothing to add.
That was good. That was good.
Simple.
So how are you gonna what the fuck? How are you going to make that poetic so we can hear it next week?
I don't know. I'm gonna make it happen. I don't know how it's gonna happen, but I don't know how to make it poetic. It's just gonna be from me, and that is the poetry.
Okay. Yeah, that. Who's typing? Somebody typing?
Jackie being all rough.
Okay.
Who?
Like,
I can see you. You were typing with determination. Over oh, Lord.
What? Who wants to go next?
Let me get that.
Susan.
All day.
Oh, Jules. Go ahead.
Nah,
Yeah.
Nah, Susan.
I'll go.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. It looks real crazy, but I'm gonna try to read it. What did I write here? Okay. I had watched you, peeked around the corner to see if you were still where I had left you, casting shadows on chalk clouds, pink filling the asphalt. And then this elongated figure of girls in too short shorts, but you had moved. You had moved over to the Puerto Rican boys glowing in the handball court, flicking sweat with every sneaker squeak, making them squint. You were making them squint so they would miss the ball, so that way their partner would have to fly across and smack the ball up against this mural of Krylon colors spelling out morning. And I couldn't help but follow where the lyrical cursing complained of heat, and the futile fanning. They tried to wave you off, taunting you, almost beckoning you to stay. You almost smirk when you do this. People sitting in useless shade when you know and I know that they will have no choice but to have to bear the heat and face you at some point. And didn't they ask you to come through anyway? So I watched and I waited. I waited for you to tire of the games, to paint the parks in an orange gold, to wash this amber, to soften us into a luxurious feel, waiting for parts of you to just fade and sit perfectly still and become stars, so that I wouldn't have to chase you and could just sit in the fire escape and watch. That's that.
Nice.
Yeah.
I love the descriptions and the
Your
jealous.
poems are always, yeah, I was saying your poems are always really descriptive, and I love that. Like you can really feel the essence and the atmosphere.
The fucking essence.
You know, it's just like the
Ooh.
essence. You know,
Fucking essence.
the banana essence, vanilla essence.
Fucking essence. The essence of your soul, love.
It's there. Oh, gosh. I like the stalker vibes coming from that poem too.
Yes.
Like, we don't like to admit that we stalk people. Everybody thinks it's creepy, but like I totally.
And pretending not to care while caring.
You know, like we all care. Like, why are you so afraid to say that you give a shit? I feel that. Oh, I'm crying.
It's cowardly not to say that you care.
It really is.
Yep. Especially if you feel it. And if somebody doesn't receive it, then that's on them. But you should always tell somebody if you care.
Right.
If you don't, you're gonna go to hell. Any other feedback for Susan? So you played, did you play basketball?
No, I'm in a real New York state of mind. And I just really was thinking about, you know, with everything going on.
I'm glad you're not there.
Yeah.
Word.
And even that feels strange because I'm hearing about all the loss. And I'm like, wow, it does feel strange not to be there. And at the same time, you're kind of like, ooh, okay. Because I mean, there's a lot going on over there. A lot. But I was just trying to go almost to a simpler time.
I was gonna say, ask you something
No, I
else.
have people in New York, so it's a little scary hearing the updates from them, what's going on. Got family up there, so it's crazy.
Yeah.
So we were talking earlier, do you think that there's more deaths in New York because there's more people or more people closer together?
Both.
Yeah, it's definitely both.
It's the subways, man.
Yeah.
People are crammed
They didn't
on
shut down
there.
the subways? They didn't shut down the subways?
They didn't
Well,
shut
no, before. Like,
no, yeah, they
should've
didn't. They didn't shut it down in time. Like you're on the subway. I mean, the thousands of people that you are coming in contact with, and then they decided to shut stuff down. I'm like, it was too late by then.
Everybody got it. Okay, cool. Any other feedback for Susan?
I liked it.
Yeah, it
It
was
was very
good.
visual. Like when you said New York State of Mind, I was like, it looks like it just the whole pan. It felt like I'm looking around. Like
Yeah.
it was good.
Metal
It was
bleachers,
funny.
basketball rims with no net.
Was there
Yeah,
something?
I
it's
know that.
nostalgic as hell.
Yeah.
They ever had a net.
I don't think they ever put one up. They were like, fuck it.
Like,
They're
they
gonna
didn't
tear them
even
down
bother.
anyway.
They were
All right,
like,
we don't
That
need
shit
one.
up there.
No net. They just need this circle.
I've always wanted to throw like my Converses on the power
That's all
line.
they need.
That's so like,
Now, you go outside right now and do it.
nah, I ain't got no Converses.
Target is still open.
That is Chicago. Like, you want to throw some Converse? No, Chicago's not Converse. Chicago's like all Jordans, like J's, like whatever J's you have, old J's. That's Chicago Carolina. Yeah, like number 11, that's
I think I'm just used to the movies, you know. I never lived in a real city.
if you go to most like hood or project areas, you will see it. I never
It's
understood,
actually
like, the purpose.
difficult to do.
Yeah.
I've done it, and I'm
It
like,
don't
we was
look
out that
easy.
motherfucker for an hour trying to get them goddamn shoes on that line.
Yeah, it don't look
Not
easy.
easy.
It don't look
It's
easy.
a lot of like, what is it, depth to ratio coordination? Like
I don't
the
know. It seemed like you would just throw them up there, but yeah, nah.
Now try
Skill.
it.
You need skill.
Did your neighborhood have the crate basketball goal like in the back alleyway? Did they have the crate
Yes.
basketball goal?
I've seen that. Yes. I've seen
whenever people from New York talk
I seen
about
that in the islands.
jumping on pissy mattresses, like Detroit, we didn't do that shit. That was not our thing. Our thing was fire hydrants. Like the fire hydrants were always open.
That's how it's too. Like in the summertime.
I mean, summertime,
fire
yeah.
hydrant open, you run through it, they'll fix it back up, you bust it again. But we also like it was like an old crate that you would hang up like nail or whatever in the alleyway and play basketball. That's how we played basketball. You didn't have a basketball goal, you had a crate.
That is not round. Okay. Invention. Real.
Yeah, I can see that.
Who's next?
All right, let me get this.
Oh. No, y'all could go.
Go ahead, Rebecca.
Okay, fine. I'll go. Let me get prepared. Hey. It's only a book, Michael thought to himself. Why put it on any... It's only a book, Michael thought to himself. Why think on it any longer than necessary? I mean, yeah, the main character shared his first name, which clearly that's the only thing they have in common. Mike was really starting to realize life wasn't going to be the same with spring training coming up, a couple more weeks of therapy appointments left, and the hope that this season things would get back to normal. He got up to begin his afternoon stretching routine. He'd gotten halfway through the book that his uncle asked him to read. After all, the pain wouldn't go away by simply elevating his ankle all day. And his physical therapist told him in order to get full range of the flexibility back in his ankle, he had to stretch the ligaments at least 4 times a day. Plus, he couldn't stand going to the physical therapy office, so he needed to continue motivating himself to stretch. In comes Tina, his longtime childhood friend with stretchy bands, ready to spice up the afternoon with this stretch. Mike yells, "If you try to turn my ankle to the left again, I will lift you by the abdomen and throw you on the couch." She says, "Ha ha, the last thing I want to see you do is fall backwards to prove a point." And immediately Mike took a deep breath as the ankle brace was removed. He thought to himself, one step closer to putting this injury behind me. As a 10-year-old kid, all he wanted to do was play baseball. His uncle would take him to games every week and introduce him to all the local sports agents. He loved the smell of fresh cut grass, indulged in the ambiance of waiting in the indulged in the ambiance of what waiting in the dugout might be like. Mike knew this was attainable, and his uncle, with an uncle like his, intuition like Marino Rivera, and a memory like Roberto Clemente, all he had to do was perfect his 80-mile-per-hour curveball pitch. But all that seemed like a distant memory as he sat on the living room floor, staring at the sun beaming off his favorite commemorative bat. Each day, his energy was renewed by looking at the sunlight. Sorry for the mistakes. I'm not used to reading. We haven't done this in a while.
I'm not used to reading what I wrote.
I'm not. You just write it. You don't read it back out loud.
Yeah, for sure. It does take time to get rhythm.
No, I liked your storytelling. It was a good story, but
There's some holes in it, huh, Jackie?
Your character has some aggression for 10 years old. Your character is strong, yeah, for 10 years old to pick somebody up and throw them.
By the abs.
Right.
That was a flashback. I probably should have explained that better.
But then you said he plays baseball and he was throwing like 80 miles per hour at like baseball pitch for 10 years old.
Well, that's fast for a 10-year-old, but that's slow for the pros. The pros are like 90.
Because I played softball, so I'm thinking like as a 10-year-old, you're throwing that fast. Like that's
so the sentence, it says all he had to do was perfect his 80-mile-per-hour curveball pitch. Perfect.
But that meaning he's already there, but he just needs to get better at it. Not that he doesn't have it, because perfected means you're working on what you already have.
That's what's up.
So that will believe that he's already doing it, but he's trying to get better at it.
I'm gonna write that.
Okay.
I was just saying, I thought it was interesting because I played softball. So when you said that, I was like, dang, for 10 years old, he killing us out here in the game. Us high school girls. Perfect. But good storytelling, good detail. I liked it a lot.
Yeah, that was good. Any other feedback for Rebecca? Tomorrow, this is a sidebar. Tomorrow is Wednesday. If anybody wants to go to the farm to pick up fruits and vegetables, we try to get there at 10 a.m. and the truck usually comes around 10:30. So it is called, I'm gonna put it in here.
I'm in Augusta.
Damn. As far
I was
as
gonna say thank y'all for the feedback. It's great.
Yeah, let me find Leaf.
Well, everyone, I gotta go. So much love to everyone. Y'all stay safe. Be good.
Be safe.
Thank you, Jackie.
Bye, you guys. Thank you.
Bye.
Good night.
Oh, we have to come up with like a big coming out party once this is all over with. Cause I'm like,
Oh my God, right.
we need like a big like kickback somewhere.
I think that oh shoot. That Jamel said that he was gonna host our coming back
Oh, yeah, like poker or something at his house.
game night, something, yeah.
Fun
He got
stuff.
to be outdoors, though, Jesus. We can't be indoors having a
To celebrate.
Please let us outdoors.
That's funny. An outdoor kickback. We are outside in the streets. But I imagine all the cities are gonna turn up like when it's over, yeah.
Okay.
There's a weird video that I saw downtown Atlanta that every night or every Friday, the first responders and medical workers all come outside and start screaming and yelling. I mean, for like positivity. It's
okay.
What?
yeah, it's interesting. I saw that in another group me that I'm in. So I'll post the video in our group me. But anyway, there's a Facebook page for Leaf if you guys wanna go to that tomorrow. I'm on the fence about it, but
Because there might be a lot of people.
well, they had us come down 10 at a time, so
okay.
but people be rushing trying to hoard food, so you know. But the thing about Leaf is that it's food from either restaurants or stores, and Quick Trip, Publix Quick Trip, Whole Foods, whatever, things that they're about to throw away in 2 to 3 days. Shelf life. Now, I'd say about 80% of the stuff is good. But you got to pick through it, and it's just one of those things where if you absolutely don't need it, fuck it, leave it for the people who do. You know what I mean? But if you do need it, it's definitely there for you. And this is not the time to have pride. If you need the shit, go. You know, so
they giving y'all what Joe Exotic is giving his tigers.
That's not funny.
Basically,
right.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, basically.
I like that.
I was thinking the same thing.
You know, the
We'll put it
only
on some
problem
pizza.
I had about the meat going on the pizza was that how they presented it in the documentary, because if he was like, I needed another form of income and the meat still had like 2-3 days, what the fuck was the problem? I really honestly felt like that. I was like, if the meat still has 2 or 3 days, then the only reason this looks fucked up is because of how they edited it in and being like, this is all this meat that's being dumped in this bin. Of course, you're gonna be like gross, but what's the difference?
But they're like so funky though, Sheba. Like, who the heck is eating out of that restaurant? Man,
Those
like these dudes
people
are like eating meth for breakfast. I'm not eating anything from them anyway.
the
Whoever
people
did that is a fool.
The tourists who was like, fuck it, I need pizza and I got 12 kids with me to see these tigers. I thought it was a great source of income. I just, you know, having the almost spoiled meat there was kind of, I mean, but fuck it, if he's giving it to his tigers, you know. But, and animals know. My dog was bougie. My dog would be like, no, not need this. Because I had a real dog, Linnea, a Great Dane. That little bitch ass miniature, whatever the fuck.
Wow.
Anything that says miniature is not a real dog.
Are you calling Chance not a real dog? Like, he shits and pees like every other dog.
Chance is lunch.
Oh, wow.
Your dog is a puppy.
We're
gonna give him
The Great Dane ain't
What
gonna
is
work great.
He's
His
a
big
year
ass
and
ain't
4
gonna do
months. He has reached his full potential.
Facts.
You're joking,
The big ass
right?
dog ain't gonna do nothing.
Barks loud, boo.
That's it. That's it. I was raised with one. I know they ain't gonna do shit.
Because they're so soft and sweet. I'm getting
Chance
another
ready
one.
to fight.
Ah, of course, little dog's always ready to fight. Who didn't go? Brittany.
Yeah. All right. No disclaimers. Okay.
Has everybody went but Brittany?
Good job.
Yeah. Did you
Not
go?
you.
You didn't go. Yeah, Brittany. Okay, then Brittany, then you.
Okay.
Is that the little bitch ass dog in the background?
Yeah, that's him.
She a hater.
He loud.
about
He
the
got
doggy.
Asperger's or something. He just bark in the middle of the night.
Hilarious. Okay, go
Here's
ahead,
something.
Brittany.
He's protecting you.
All right. Okay. And on the 7th day, when she was supposed to rest, she saw the rain approaching, the clouds closing, the darkness thick and heavy, ready to knock on her door like death again. She saw the storm and crouching and couldn't be afraid again. No time to prepare, too poor to build a boat. Can't swim in these big bones, too heavy to float. She decided to chase the sun. With unbreakable faith and worn down shoes, she knew a way would be made as long as she didn't look back. That's as far as I got.
Go girl.
You're a rapper, son.
I don't think she
I like that.
Brittany got bars.
Oh, on the 7th day when she was supposed to rest, was that referencing a Sabbath day or?
Yeah.
What else?
Which day is the 7th? Sunday or Saturday?
However you count it.
Wednesday. Depends when you start.
However you count it.
It's
However
Saturday.
I
As
guess
the
it just,
Adventist would say.
According to the calendar, the 7th day of the week is Saturday.
Saturday. It was an off day.
Right. Say
What?
that again. Yes, Lord. It was an off day.
so the week
That
is
was the
supposed to start
7th
on
day.
Sunday?
Only on your calendar, Sheba. Like who? You don't know that?
Sheba knew the week
Sunday is the
started on
first day of
Sunday.
the week.
She knew
Sunday
that.
is the first
She
day of
knows.
the week.
She knows the week starts on Sunday.
She knows.
You knew that, right?
No, my calendar starts on Sunday.
Right.
But
But your week can be a different time. You can start your week on Thursday, depending
No.
on your off days.
No.
When I was
didn't
in
count it like
Houston,
that.
my weekend was whatever 2 days off I was in a row.
Right. Okay.
True.
But that's just saying, oh, because my work schedule start on Thursday, my week. No.
Nope. That's my week. That's my week. Just because the calendar is nothing for record taking. What am I gonna do on the 14th? I'm doing this, such and such and such and such. That don't got to be my 3rd day, my 8th day, my I don't know, like whatever my Sabbath is, I will keep it. So it is.
Okay. All right. Any other feedback for Brittany and her bars? Sana? I do like that you started with the opposition, like, yeah, this day is fucked up, it's cloudy, it's whatever, but guess what? I'm ignoring this shit. And I'm out here getting it. Or not even necessarily ignoring it. I acknowledge that it's here, but it doesn't have to mess with my ambition.
Right.
Too.
It's how I feel right now. Like, it's not really panic. It's like, you know, it is what it is. The creator is gonna make a way. We going with the flow. We gonna, you know.
It's a drill.
Man, I'm in the house resting, working out, losing weight, eating right, working on kind of my album with you, and having Asia redo my website. Like, it's on the other side of this, is gonna be time to book.
Productive.
Yeah.
AF.
Right.
Yeah. I'm hoping I don't lose momentum, because I think a lot of my momentum, kind of like this chasing the sun, cloudy day thing, is like, okay, I know it's temporary. But then I was thinking I'm more productive now than I actually was running in circles, pretending to be in meetings and shit. Because now I'm doing the things that are relevant, essential, and important, instead of just, oh, I'm in a meeting to be in a meeting, to go to a meeting, to pick up a meeting. Fuck a meeting. What did Yoda say? Do.
Do.
There is no try, there is only do.
There's no try, only do. I like it. Come on, Yoda. Any other feedback for Brittany? Oh. Brittany, DM me do you know how to change the chat to everyone to just me at the bottom?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
DM me your phone number, unless you want everybody to have it, and I'll add you to our group me. We stay in touch through the week with things to do, poetry and otherwise, in group me. Do you have the group me app?
Yep.
Okay. All right, cool. All right, Linnea.
I'm going. I done forgot how to deliver it, so sorry.
In the club.
You said in the club? In the club? Can y'all hear me? Oh. I gravitate to the sun, walking towards the light. I used to run, but now there's ammunition and guns to jostle. The enemy's colossal, still savage, still hostile, still using our communities as brothels. We grope at the questions, the answers remain aloof, the answers remain on Mars. We lost our jetpacks in the war, now our dreams don't reach the stars. Star children orphaned, fostered by supernovas, and they seem laser focused on teaching us how not to shine. Painted black by what's assumed divine design, unaware of how our beams sunburn their faces. No way we can roam freely. They demand to see our papers if we plan to travel their paved streets. I had the greatest epiphany when my bare feet touched the grass. We can exist without permission if we can grasp not being afraid of death and opinions, the actions and reactions of those with dominion, the silence and darkness, knowing we harness the power to illuminate the universe all alone. That was it.
Yeah.
I got a snap. That's good.
All right.
I liked it.
I like that.
It was emotional, intentional,
Hmm.
intense. It was strong. Susan, what did you think?
There was almost this picture of the children kind of left behind, the Star Child. I don't remember what the exact line was. That one really struck me. Just being kind of left. Just wow.
Star children, orphaned,
Yes.
fostered by supernovas. So
Love
I
that.
Googled, when I wrote that line, I Googled what destroys a star. Supernovas destroy stars. So
Wow.
star children, orphaned, fostered by supernovas.
This was it.
Nice. That was.
Yeah.
When you write, do you write like you? Because I know you're more of a lyricist, a MC or whatever, you know. So do you write thinking about how you would rap it, or was this written on how you was just gonna talk it?
The beginning piece was a rap. Like it was in the form of how I would rap, but I deviated because I don't really want to rap. So it started off as a rap. I gravitate to the sun, walking towards the light. I used to run. Now there's ammunition and guns to jostle. The enemy's colossal. Still savage, still hostile, still using our communities as brothels. That's some shit that's rap.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yes.
You did exactly what you did right then, and then you went somewhere else. So I was like, yeah, something. There was another.
Yeah, why didn't you keep that throughout?
I'm sorry?
Why didn't you keep that rhythm throughout?
Because it's a rap. I'm really, rap is very, it's constricting. You have, and my style of rap is, I'm trying to communicate the most in a very little space, a bar.
Yeah.
So that sometimes that's not, it's if I deviate from that, then I could say whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to write outside of that parameter. Because when I'm writing songs that are sang, they are more when you're writing a song that someone is going to sing, if you're going to write a ballad, it's not good to be in the box of a rap. And that's how I write sing songs right now. And I'm trying to get to the point where I'm not doing that with sing song. I can like deviate the pattern so that somebody can sing it, because when someone is singing, they also have that leverage to not be confined by a bar. They can ooh over 2 bars. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's why.
Gotcha. Cool. That was good. That was one of my more favorite ones from you.
Yeah, it was sound. It was sound.
And they did.
It was up my alley. Chasing the sun is some shit. I'll do that all day. For real.
Ain't shit, son. It ain't shit. Popping. We popping with the sun, son.
Yeah.
Sun and sun. That's what's up. Hey, this was good, you guys.
Hey,
I feel like we're real
Hold
workshop
on.
again.
I didn't get to do my poem yet.
Shit. We just said we didn't get to go.
I rewrote it too.
Oh, look, Jack finna go right after I do mine. All right.
Are we going back to Jack? Okay, come on.
Yeah, because I rewrote.
Oh, okay. Work. All right. Let's go, Jules.
Let me put my password in real quick. Okay. All right. You don't ever have shit to do, but you always try to do some shit. You've always been so above stocking shelves, but these eighths don't pay for themselves. My rent car hold up. You've always been so above stocking shelves, but these eighths don't pay for themselves. My rent, car note, and internet are due. Who you waiting on, Santa and his fucking elves? We stopped looking out that window around the age of 12, right around the time when she woke in a pool of her own blood. Only a few hours ago, she knew she was in love. But he's gone now. He has received something he can't return, something that could never be earned. And the big yellow diamond in the sky has come to claim your new identity. So don't walk away. You can't just let this be. You could blink an eye and wasted an eternity waiting on some guy. He spent the last 3 retrogrades smoking crack and playing spades. Now you look up, your count balance lower than his age. But even material things can't make up for all that was lost. Your spirit, your womb, your smile. Tell me what's the cost. If I make you nut, can I be your boss? That's it right there. Man.
Any feedback for Jules? What's the T for? T pimping what?
Thalia. My first name.
Gotcha. Any feedback for Talia T pimping?
No. Hold up. See, that's the problem right there.
You put T pimping on here. You could change it.
Thalia.
TH. You're unmuted, Linnea. So whatever shit you was talking, you got to unmute.
Linnea, what you talking about?
I would
Put
say
like
that
this.
her handle on Instagram is pimping ain't easy. So let's be clear. Jules is a thug.
Oh, okay.
Street life is the
Like
only
pimping
life
is.
she knows.
Okay.
Okay.
For real.
Yo,
That is song
I love it.
forever. Thank
Any
you.
feedback for Thalia?
There we
The
go.
pimp.
There we go.
You came in strong. You came in strong. And you kept our attention. Like, I was looking away and I looked like, oh, all right then. Yes, ma'am. And then you finished strong too. You gave us a good, not abrupt, but almost abrupt ending. Like, and I'm done. Drop the mic down.
Okay.
Anybody else?
People over here changing her background.
CAU.
Can somebody tell me how to do that? I swear I don't
It's
have
down by stop video.
Dang, we did this like 2 chats ago.
Hello.
I never learned.
Every time.
How you do that?
How do you do it?
So at the bottom, y'all see the bottom bar where it
I see
says
the bottom.
mute stop video.
Mm-hmm.
So hit the arrow where it says stop video.
Okay.
Oh,
And it says choose virtual background.
I got it.
Oh.
And then you can upload your own pictures too, which is where
I don't see that. Choose virtual background.
Because if you have, I guess, if you're on Apple, it has the ... and then the more. And you click on that.
I'm on Mac. I'm on Mac.
Well, okay, if you like on your phone, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
then you go to the ... go down to virtual background.
Oh.
That's
okay.
why, that's where the confusion is. They got 2 different ways of doing it. One for different devices, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
I do like that your poems are strong, Jules. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Where'd you
got
go,
some
Jack?
strong poems.
Oh, there you go. That's a good picture too.
It's apropos. All right.
Your opening is good,
I have to find
which is always important for people listening, and then your close is always strong. And not to say that anyone should fuck off in the middle, but it's always, just like anything, just like news, media, Instagram, Facebook, it's always the opening that catches people, then they read until they're disinterested. But if they're, if you keep being interested line by line, then they'll read all the way to the end, and then your close is just as important. So good job with that. Jack, what you got? And we can't see you. Oh, there you are.
All right.
Who did we lose? We lost somebody. Oh, Rebecca.
To chase the sun, you have to become one with it. What did we learn from the war against the stars? There is no try, there is only do. So as you run this race, embrace it. Catch your breath. Realize that in the light, there is no reason to fight. Feel the wind against your skin. Be grateful for this experience. In stride, you will find that you have always shined brightly. And despite what you might see, the finish line is always the end of the line. You go away because there's only one. There's only the sun. And that's what I wrote after y'all, after that first poem.
So was the last line a double entendre?
I'm trying to say that.
Was it SON? There's only the Son, like Jesus Christ?
Oh no.
Oh.
I mean, it could be interpreted that way. I'm open to that interpretation, but for me personally, no.
There's
More so
only
the
the
light.
sun.
There's only the light. More so the light.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay.
it.
Cool. Anybody else? Feedback for Josh? No?
It came far from what it began as, the War of the Stars. That's, something I had to really, okay. We still talking about Yoda, but we got rid of the little green man. So there was no confusion. I like that.
I
had to
definitely I am on board for the like the writing of the piece on the computer to share it, because I personally take away so much more when I can read it. Like, it's a really big deal for me. It's such a big deal. Like, if I could see y'all shit, I would have more to say.
Okay.
I like that.
We can drop them in the group me as well.
True. Very true. Very true.
Now that we have both as an